Kita continue. Aduh.
This place is rather gloomy.
Why don't you lighten the mood for us while we're here then?
I'll see what I can do.
Mau ngapain kita? Oh. Kita buka skill panel dulu. Akan disuruh ada itu di fit semua lights. Bener berarti yang gue bilang. Mystic crust. Press every type of animal. Gue Kisara. Nanti bisa balik lagi kan ya? Jadi kita ke Lenegis guys hari ini. Halo Tinky Winky, halo.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Tahu-tahu.
You're going to jinx us.
Tahu-tahu
Speaking
terbang,
of which, Elfin, this bucket
meledak
of bolts
gitu
got
kan.
a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
Wes, keren namanya.
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
Oh, ada pesawat, ada kemarin. Kita mau ke Lenegis soalnya.
Sounds perfect for our little
Knights.
escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... Well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Fall Knights.
Okay,
Ada
people,
pesawat
we have
kan
two
kemarin
goals.
soalnya
First, we
kita
need to get
cari
to Lenegis and
pesawatnya
make the Renans
si
finally
Alphen
leave
kan
Dana
karena
alone.
kita mau
And
ke
then, we
Lenegis.
need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to
Nah,
save
kan.
her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
Wis. Naik pesawat cuy. Keren. Anjay. Yoi, pesawatnya keren. Wes.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
Iya juga.
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
Supervise
In that
gak
case,
tuh?
she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different. Different? Like in a bad way different? No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
Ang mga maduhalong dulu.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
7
You
tahun
mean
tapi
since you
masih
became a
keren
lord and left
anjir.
Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me though, you too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
Aku mau sama yang lain dulu. Weh, keren cuy. Oh, lo sama
Hey,
Rinlo berdua.
Alvin, listen to this. So Law and I were just talking and
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do.
Tin
I
can
don't think
gak
there's
tuh dia
anything
bilang.
strange
Maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renin technology. It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alvin, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
Kenapa? Dia takut kah? Takut terbang dia. Wow.
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you
Airsick
mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things
Stars.
considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes
Healing
injuries
pod?
and illnesses.
Oh.
Oh, you don't say. That should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alpha,
Kenapa?
was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
Oh.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that mean you were inside for 300 years?
300
Yes,
tahun di
It
situ
sounds
cuy.
crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menencia?
Oh, tentang
About the
ininya,
dream of
si
coexistence
Sarah ya.
and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menencia. My dream is for all Danans,
Wes.
wherever they might be, to be free.
Betul
If I've learned
sekali.
anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Wes.
Well, we're
Mama
not out of this
Kitara.
forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking
Eh,
the other way.
halo.
Kisara.
Mr. Bebex, halo.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Iya, pelan-pelan aja, Pen. Gak usah buru-buru. Kita ngomong sama Sion terakhir, ya kan? Sion.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming.
Kalau
of
gameplay
sorts
udah
to you,
berapa
huh?
jam? Ini
What was
terakhir
life on
tadi
Lenegis
gua
like
cek
back
37 jam
You know,
ini.
before you came to Dana.
Let's just say I don't have many happy memories. I've had
Ini
thorns my whole
37
life.
jam.
For as long
Sampai
as I can
di
remember.
titik ini ya.
They called
Ini
it
38
treatment,
mungkin udah.
but in truth they were just using me as a guinea
Sekitar
pig
segitu
for
lah,
their
37,
research.
38 lah. Udah
You
mau
mean
40 jam
They
gua.
experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another.
Oh, dia jadi korban
I'm still
eksperimen
surprised they didn't try to
juga.
dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a
Berapa
monster
panjang
or
sih ini
something.
game? Harusnya katanya
Some
40
existence,
jam
huh?
gameplay
A blight on
katanya.
any I touched.
Cuma kan gua
Helplessly
kemarin
complicit
ada
in their pain.
keliling-kelilingnya
I
juga
thought
kan.
things couldn't get any worse.
Ada farming-farmingnya
they
juga.
did.
Kalau
I started
story-nya
to
sih
have
katanya
nightmares,
40 jam
visions of
total
the
ya
coming
semua.
apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition, unable to so much as touch another soul? Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion.
Siang Dani,
That's when it hit
halo.
me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
Main
You
gue
say
baru
it's your
5 jam.
destiny to die so that others can live.
Jauh, masih
Why not
jauh
the other way
banget.
around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying
Yang
to
kemarin
save you?
sampai sebelum
Are
apa
you
namanya?
crazy?
Sebelum
Why would you sacrifice your life for...
sebelum
exactly
yang
my point.
opening yang
Why
kedua
should
itu,
you have
yang
to give up
anime
your
kedua
life
itu,
just because you drew the short straw
itu
in the
aja
destiny stakes?
harusnya
How is that
20
even
jaman
right?
ya, harusnya.
It's that
Kalau
logic that's used
kalau
to justify
si
slavery,
Will
as if
Will
some of
main
us were just
20
meant
jam
to
tuh
be
sampai situ tuh.
sacrificed. This
Gua
struggle is
lama
never
karena
about
gua ada
saving only
kerjain side
ourselves.
quest kan.
But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own
Ada
lives to save everyone
grinding
else's
juga.
either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together,
Terus belum
remember?
yang kayak ngomong-ngomong
This
yang
fight is yours
kecil-kecil
too,
gitu
Shion.
loh. Itu belum
If
yang
we're going to win,
kayak
everyone
ngomong-ngomong di
has to win.
camp gitu kan.
There can be no room for losers in this fight.
Kan
Now I
jatuhnya
see
kayak
it,
skit
the
kan.
true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end.
Victory
Do you
with
think
hot
we can pull it
losers.
off?
Ah, I
You
see.
bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Berarti gameplay lu masih
Yeah,
jauh ke tamatnya.
You're
ya.
right. No one's
Mungkin
ever changed the
gua nggak
future
tahu antara
without aiming
3
for the stars.
atau 4 part lagi,
We
nggak
can do
termasuk
this.
sama yang ini.
together.
Harusnya ya. Mungkin 3 atau 4 part lagi kali selesai. Kayaknya ya kalau dari
Is
feeling-feeling
everyone about
ininya.
ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point.
Iya
Now
juga.
that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there. They didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Lenegis tuh
Very well.
apa, Bro?
First and foremost, Lenegis was the
Oh.
base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society.
Oh,
Its social
nakotae
structure is
juga.
based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Gila.
Enough to
Ada
determine
itu
someone's
juga.
social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being a Danan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the
Yeah,
pecking order,
you-
right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Oh, dia jadi underclass gara-gara Thorn.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Kapart lah ada ya 1 jam, ada 3 jam, gimana uang ngira-ngiranya.
Wait a second. Are
Ya, gitulah.
He is! Law's blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst.
Iya gila, ternyata
As
di
if such
Renan pun
simplistic
ada
criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this
pengkastaan
red
ya
woman.
istilahnya.
Are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility.
Ya mungkin
Chances are she's also
kalau
connected to the Renis Alma
story
being stolen
mungkin
from us
6
in
jam
Collegiate.
gameplay
If the
mungkin
Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back
kalau
at all
diinget-inget
costs.
lagi. Enggak
The
deh.
Red Woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
Ini harusnya sih di titik ini gue udah setengah
We're about to
gameplay
land.
bagian
The
kedua
descent
ya,
could be a little
harusnya ya.
bumpy, so brace yourselves.
Jadi mungkin
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them.
10 jaman, nggak tahu lah, sekitaran segitu lah. Harusnya sih udah nggak lama ya. Kalau gue inget-inget lagi, karena gue udah nonton gameplay sampai tamatnya, tapi gue nggak nonton endingnya. Sengaja. Wes, sudah nyampe Lenegis kita. Sepi amat.
There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Itu
Do you
kapal
think
kan?
anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this Red Woman is here, right? And if we're
Kita
lucky,
nyari yang
the Renis
cewek
Alma
baju
too.
merah itu loh.
Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone.
Forbidden
That
Zone.
seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden?
Zone.
What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a sovereign in our midst.
Ah, iya juga. Dia kan sovereign.
In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman.
Ya juga, bisa jadi.
Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
Rasa di
It
Forbidden
stands to
Zone.
reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
Iya,
But it's
nggak
been
mungkin
over
dia taruh di
300
tempat yang
years
banyak
since I was
orang
made a
gitu kan.
sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
Iya, orang-orang ini juga
There's
nggak
only
tahu
one way
lu
to find
tadi.
out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renans. A capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what...
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a
Hibis-hibis tuh
loudmouth,
apa
you
ya?
sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm
Hibis-hibis.
sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or
Will
do you
you
want
two
everyone to know we're
children?
here?
So how many Renans
Berantem
actually
mulu
live
dia
in this
berdua.
place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zoogles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's
Zugos?
Zoogles out here too, huh? Sounds like we
Oke.
can't afford to let our guard down after all.
Holy damn. Apa yang what do we expect to see behind this wall, behind these doors? What? Anjir. Gila, kotaknya ini dong. Kotaknya berantakan.
What in the world?
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Hah? Siapa?
Akhirnya. I'm glad to see you
Temannya
well.
dia kah?
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana then?
Hah?
Heard what?
What?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey,
Temennya
Dohalim,
nggak tahu apa yang
don't tell me
terjadi
you've
di
started
Dana.
keeping company with...
They're with me.
Yang di Dana.
More importantly, what's happened
Oke.
here?
Lenegis sebelah mana
I'm
yang
really not
Cibaduyut?
sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like
Cibaduyut.
this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us
Dekat
what's happening.
Sukabumi.
But so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
The less you know, the
You're
better.
just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let
Gila,
alone
dia
the
sampai nggak
Forbidden
tahu.
Zone.
Very
Dia
well.
jauh,
It looks
dia
like
aja
we'll have
sampai
to
nggak
find a
tahu
way there
rumahnya di mana.
ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
Faria.
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of
Faria
that.
tuh cewek temennya dia kah?
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself, okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
Astaga! Ini
If what
bocah
Avatar said
satu.
is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own
Emang
world.
emang gak
Despite the
peka
fact that it's
anjir si
actually
Lau.
here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information.
Gila,
Let's
mereka
talk
nggak
to the
tahu apa yang
citizens, see what
terjadi
we can
di
find out.
Dana
While we're at
berarti.
it, we could ask them about the Red Woman
Dia
too.
nanya kan, kenapa
And
lu
don't
balik ke
forget about
sini bukannya
finding
lu
the way
lagi
to the
kontes
Forbidden
di
Zone
Dana? Hah?
Let's leave the talking
Berarti
to
lu
Shield.
nggak denger apapun
We
yang
can't
terjadi
have a
di
bunch of
Dana
Danans
dong.
poking their noses
Kalau
around.
semua alert udah
Good
dibantai.
idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right.
Iya juga sih.
Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
Gila, ini parah banget.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it.
The hell?
But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
Gila.
As your lordship
Dohalim
wishes.
jago kalau
First
ngomong
Lenegis
the
mutates
best.
beyond recognition. Now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Masih dipikir crown contest masih ada
Your good
dong,
wishes
gila.
do me an honor.
Oh gila sih. Ih, dapat resep lumayan.
Everything will be okay now.
Gila.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Gila, sampai begini dong. Sampai bolong. Yang belum kebantai
Your
Lord
lordship.
Avernus.
Oh, what a great honor it is to
Avernus
finally meet
siapa?
you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Iya sih.
Yeah.
Ngeliat.
What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions?
Oh.
I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or
Halo Mbak
otherwise.
Lauren.
Why do you want to find her anyway?
Apaan sih, Will? Gak jelas.
Never mind.
Dia ada yang jauh juga ternyata.
Sorry to
Ada yang
take up
tahu
your
juga
time.
ternyata. Oh, Avernus tuh Abaddon. Walah, kan saya tidak main Dota ya. Saya kan main Dota dari Dota 2 ya. Maaf nih.
It's just unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana and then sending it to Rena.
Gue keselin deh, Will. Kenapa lu harus nyapa gue seperti itu? Gue gak
Surely
suka.
they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Kesel banget.
Whatever their purpose,
Ngeselin nih orang.
disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their end game is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This forbidden zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting
Pas main
for?
Pokemon
Let's
ranked
get
solo
moving.
veteran masih nggak
You
ngerti
heard him.
pentingnya
We
Dread
don't have
now.
time to stop
Ya,
and chat.
kayak lu nggak tahu
Let's
aja,
move.
Will. Sudahlah, aku sudah menyerah dengan game itu.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform
Ya
like
juga.
this. But then, if they
Berarti-
knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration to avoid all this chaos.
Iya juga, benar
Ordinarily,
juga
yes.
omongannya
You'd think so.
Sirenwell.
Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Senasib nih pejuang
Sorry.
solo.
That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all.
Veteran ya, Will.
Sometimes it takes an
Veteran tapi
outsider's
mainnya
eye to help
masih
you
kayak
notice what
Dread.
you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery,
Kayak
that's for
beginner.
sure.
Aduh.
Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Nggak tahu pada bilang,
Yeah.
oh
You're
kalau
right, Sion.
solo
I'm sure
gampang,
we will.
bla bla bla. Gue masih nggak ngerti dengan orang yang ngomong kalau solo gampang gitu loh. Pengen banting HP tapi sayang,
Is
kan bisa
everything
main di
okay?
Switch loh.
You look a little lost.
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
Gak apa-apa,
I
banting
suppose
aja,
the
Will, kan
Sovereign
masih punya
knows
Switch.
best.
Masih tak main di Switch aja.
I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of
Oh,
my
dia
lowly
dari
status?
kasta bawah dia, cewek ini.
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renin, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent. which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Naiyakan.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is.
Juga nga pa nakakana.
Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Berarti mereka dari awal udah tinggal di Lenegis gitu.
In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Iya, jadi
whoever wins the
secara
crown
ininya
contest
apa
inherits the
berarti?
throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
Terus
But that
kenapa
would mean
harus
that 2
namanya
sovereigns would
Sovereign?
need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Heros.
Iya sih.
Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that
Malah
it seems
tidak
will remain
terjawab
unanswered
jadinya pertanyaannya.
until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
Iya ya.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Cannabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Ada questnya nggak tuh? Pikir akan ada sesuatu di situ.
I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seemed to mind. Am I the only one who finds that
Nih,
strange?
kayak sebenarnya lagi
It is the
ngomongin
way
tentang
things have
society
always been,
kita juga
so no
nggak
one
sih?
thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Kayak even di Rena yang istilahnya yang nguasain Dana pun mereka ada pengkastaannya gitu.
I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Anjir, mapnya gede, cuy.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed. The effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
Ya karena dia
I'm afraid I
Lord.
don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation.
Friendly
Look
intimidation.
imposing and
gitu.
speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it. How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Kisara
Hey,
Madohal.
what's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Mereka ngomongnya jadi kayak Dohal, jadi gak jelas. Oh, ada kotak.
What is this?
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right?
Iya.
In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
Hanfried Milgras.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem is the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
Ya juga,
When you
aneh
live
dong.
here, it's as if
Kalau
you're
mereka nggak
conditioned
pernah
not to
balik
notice
ke
all these
Lenegis.
strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But
Okay,
if
Dan.
even the
Thank
victor's
you, Ma'am.
speeches
Thank
have
you,
been
udah
part
mau
of some
mampir.
grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both.
Sudah mulai
Though we
pusing,
are Renin
Bung.
by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Kita keliling dulu, siapa tahu ada yang bisa diambil gitu kan.
Doe?
Faria.
Oh,
Varia.
ini cewek yang
Isn't that
diomongin
the
ya?
person that Avakir guy was...
But
Silau
why
tuh.
are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still... kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you
Gila,
saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Wah, anjing, kaget gua. Bangsat.
Dohalim.
Anjing itu ada
apologize that
cewek
you had
itu
to witness
kaget gua, bangsat, bangsat.
Is it true? What she said
Mana
about
lagu
you
gitu
killing
lagi?
someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne.
Kayaknya
Is that
itu
what she
sih
meant?
yang maksudnya dia. Ih,
The
tau-tau
mistakes I made there
nongol
were
dia
not
di
my
belakang.
first, and may not be my last.
Kaget.
I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest and to ensure continued coexistence in Menencia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to.
Hello, Edwin. Hi.
Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive
Kenapa?
me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Lo kenapa sih? Kenapa si Dohalim juga ikut-ikutan jadi kayak orang mau mati gitu? Halo, waalaikumsalam, Tok.
What is this?
Tofu? What? Ini kota, sumpah deh.
Wow, this place is beautiful.
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renans sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Tapi
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan.
oh, temannya dia yang yang
That was a
kita
lifetime
lihat
ago
di flashbacknya dia
Tarnagan.
waktu di Menencia
He was
itu.
the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed.
Beetroot, ya tunangan dong, ya pantesan si
Despite
Faria
Faria's lower-class
ngamuk.
upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir.
Ya
It was a
pantesan si
time of
Farianya
great joy.
ngamuk.
Four people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
Wow.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the
Wow.
world that laid the foundations
Bapak.
for coexistence in Menencia.
Bapak Dohalim, the best.
Your praise
Dohalim
does
for
me too great an honor.
2022.
I was merely following
Let's
the
go.
wishes of my own heart.
Hashtag Dohalim
even
for
then-
2022.
It only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
Oh.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a
2022
chance.
ada apaan? Ya, ada
But he
kehidupan.
was
Si Mamat
desperate
udah kenyang.
and low
Hai,
on
selamat
options,
siang.
and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
Halo, Rehan.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics
What?
to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait. Don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the
Dia
trauma
nggak
of losing her
ngasih tahu
beloved,
dong si
by her friend's
temennya
hand, no
main
less.
curang
She
ternyata.
would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
Nggak gitu dong.
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done.
Ya beda dong,
As
Halim.
for what happened
Satu
after,
lagi nih.
that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Iya benar.
Shion's right.
Omongannya Shion.
What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for
masih sayang
anyone to
sama
bear.
temennya. Dia kayak mau ngelindungin harga diri temennya yang curang. Kayaknya
Frank as
gitu.
always.
Kayak
But
karena kan dia
I
bilang
shall do
kan
my
dia
best
nggak
to
bisa
heed your
terima
advice.
temennya mati kan. Jadi kayak ya udah biarin aja gitu loh. Biar dia yang salah jadinya. Kelihatannya gitu sih.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone
Nggak
like
gitu
that.
sih, Rai.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
Makasih Alvan atas kalimatnya.
I hope you're right.
Oh, lah itu temennya si
Alvin,
Halim ya?
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
Mencari barang, siapa tahu kan
I
ada
see
gitu.
a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Bisa belanja dong. Buy items. Cap gel. Gila. Heavy threat lah cepat. Ya Allah cuma bisa bawa ini. Gila langsung miskin. Apaan dah? Nah, dia bisa dijual nggak nih? Nah ini kayak gini-ginian kan. Nah ini kayak gini-ginian nih yang bisa dijual. Meninggal mahal-mahal barangnya. Bentar, sakit kan. Bagian part 2 sampai Miskin langsung. Ah. Wes, apa nih? Oh, laut. Weh, masuk nih, udah kebuka itu.
Hey, look!
Kares dulu. Kill traffic and combat points. Ini aja.
I must admit, I'm rather proud of this dish.
Cia bisa ya aja Mas Alpen maksudnya.
Wow, that's some weird-looking meat you're cooking up there. What is it exactly?
That would be grilled rapig.
Rapig?
What?
Whoa there! What's the big brouhaha?
Brouhaha
Rat
apa?
Pig, how could you cook something with such cute little eyes? What did it ever do to you?
I fail to see what the problem is. Rapigs are perfectly edible creatures.
Rapig.
Having said that, I do realize it's become rather rare to eat them lately. What with people increasingly embracing them as pets and companions.
Untuk yang nggak tahu rapig apa, rapig adalah singkatan dari rabbit pig.
Agreed.
Jadi
Rapigs
babi
have tender,
tapi
fatty
kupingnya
meat.
kelinci gitu
The
loh.
taste can take some getting used to, but I would argue that's part of its charm.
If the taste is too strong, I imagine you can either just cook it thoroughly or simmer it with some herbs to mask it.
Wes.
Indeed. At first I wasn't sure whether to smoke it with spices or simmer it in water, but I opted to grill it as is instead.
Seriously, Dohalim? You have the weirdest tastes.
Babi
That's probably
DLC
because
nggak
when you live
gitu
the life
sih.
of a lord, you grow tired of most ordinary cuisine.
So you end up seeking out more unusual food. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Hey, terima
Well,
kasih.
putting aside what it used to be,
Kacang-kacang
you've
apa yang
gotta
pakai baju
admit it does
oranye?
look pretty damn good.
Oke, saya tidak akan
Mhm,
baca
after all.
lanjutannya, tapi terima
That
kasih
reminds me,
Rayalka.
I do believe I once read in a book about rare delicacies, how one can go about
Thank you
preparing an
donasinya
owl.
Rayalka, terima kasih banyak.
I suppose I won't have the chance to try it anytime soon.
Not with Hoodle, you won't!
Hutol ngamuk. Aduh, tertepis man. Tidak dong, tentu saja. Saya sudah... Mulut ini sudah terlatih, guys. Wow.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Apa? Apa? Tidak ada menghindar kita.
I am Lord Dohalim of Elven Lenegis. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
Its armor's too strong.
Be my guest.
Light astral energy! This ends now!
Consider yourself.
Gua hampir selesai nih. Gak juga sih. Hilang Rision. Explosion
Those
nggak?
soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers,
Jadi gimana
that's
Bu?
for
Di
sure.
Lenegis
They
ada
just
wacana
attacked without warning.
bodoh.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed.
Gak
They
gitu
seem to
dong.
recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And
Tidak
yet,
begitu
traditionally,
dong.
Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zoogles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we
Iya
met
kayak
back
di
in
Ganet
Ganatheros.
Haros.
The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Waduh, baju buneng. Baju buneng itu.
We seem to have come across something.
Buset, ini wolf di mana-mana.
I hope I live long enough to regret this.
These ones can run rings around us.
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Watch this!
Look sharp!
Gak ada yang menunggu sebesar itu makanya. Terima kasih banyak donasinya. Apa nih kawan-kawan terus reinkarnasinya bodoh. Thank you donasinya, tapi nggak begitu sih. Aduh, mentis hijau gak tuh.
No further! Swallow dance!
One more! Here's a healer!
Dragon form! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
I'll leave it to you!
Anjir, anjir.
Dragon form! You picked the wrong fight! Here I come! Dragon form!
Laut kontrol diri yang sangat tangguh. Harus mengontrol mulut.
Barely a blip on our radar.
Harus itu, sangat harus itu. Aduh.
I see one, eh? Now you see what I can do! I'll punch that gun out of your hand! Bring him down! Southern wind! Mirage! In a bind? Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
Dance in the wind!
Too fast! Stand back! I'll trip it up. Look sharp!
Harus ya. Kayak selama berteman dengan kalian semua tuh gue harus menyiapkan kontrol diri yang sangat ini gitu loh. Harus ini mulut harus siap ngerem gitu loh setiap kali.
I know fine weapon material when I see it.
Anjir, banyak banget tuh,
An opponent like this should be easy. You got
Showdown between blade and fist. Smash you! I'm on a roll now. Take this. Win!
A wailing banshee of lightning! We'll soon see about that! Do it! Demons descend!
Flashing fist!
Kamu bagus beli di mana? Udah. Udah dari settingan pabrik, kakak. Kontrol kiri sama kontrol kanan. Gue jadi malah aku jadi terlihat tidak berbahaya di sini. Dia gitu dong.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
Shortcut recipe. Waduh.
Hi, Hoodle.
You picked the wrong fight!
This one's mine.
You shouldn't have messed with me. I'll crush you.
Camnya udah pakem. Go!
Now you see what I can do.
I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your luck.
Halo Richie, hi.
Let's refrain from losing.
Kanan dulu. Ya something tuh kan biasanya.
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out.
It's like trying to keep up with a wall.
I can carve through armor.
A chain between heaven and earth.
Did you hear it now?
Take this. Dragon form.
Try this!
Explosive ray. It's time.
Severing wind! Here I come!
Thanks so much.
Mirage! Dragon form!
That'll bring you down.
Not today! Mirage! Dragon form!
I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop
Pamit dulu, oke, thank you, Tinky Winky. Udah ngobrol yuk, mumpung oke. Oh. Jangan begitu kalian. Oke, Tinky Winky, thank you udah mampir. Terima kasih banyak. Regeneratif kristal. Batas Overage dapat skor berapa kalau saya bodoh? Ya Allah, Tuhanku.
Look sharp!
Harus banget. Makanya. Udah kamu fase saya pun tertepis Mbak Re orang. Udah ahli ini omongan. Astagfirullah. Telat. Kalau saya bodoh, udah berasa main CS. Salah pencet gak tuh? Astaga, 1000 subscriber tangan refill, enggak loh. Bukan tangan cuy, fast refill kok. 1000 subscriber. Kalau 1000 ya. Walah, ada tempat tele nggak tuh? Terima kasih donasinya. Dibuat gulai buatnya. Sion begitu tuh akan bisa terganti. Bentar, aku baca dulu. Thank you donasinya by the way. Siapapun tadi yang sudah donasi, terima kasih banyak. Bentar.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
Padahal tadi malam nungguin live rekaman ini ternyata nggak live.
Whoa, we.
Udah kemalaman plus Will kalau hari Minggu harus balik kan. Jadi saya males kalau solo. Oh iya, dia sovereign kan? Cuma bisa dibuka sama sovereign. Wes, daging rapik dibuat gulai, buat dimakan mereka nanti. Sion seorang begitu bernilai, tak akan pernah bisa diganti. Asik, gila Edin. Woo!
Yes, it opened.
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still
Bang
opens the way,
kayak
it would seem the
Kapan
sovereign of 3
58
centuries ago
subscriber.
and now are considered one and the
Kok
same.
gitu? Enggak lah. What?
What?
What the?
Ini apaan? Hah? Alpen?
Alphen.
You again.
Dari suaranya udah umur
Tomorrow's the spirit
29.
channeling
Enggak lah.
ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the sovereign and maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth.
When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that
Sa
sense,
beatbox,
you and I are
enggak
much
lah.
the same.
Saya nggak bisa beatbox.
We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people. If we didn't see the humanity in each other.
Naori, the best.
So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
Ah. Part itunya kah? Part of memory kah?
What the hell just happened?
That vision.
Naori Sasti,
Did
rambutnya
everyone else see
sauri.
it too?
That person Alvin was
Oh,
speaking
semuanya
to.
ngeliat.
She looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does
Apa,
look like
Will?
Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alvin was so confused.
Nah, kan
That's all
akhirnya
very
si
well
Lo
and
ngerti.
fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had
Makanan
300
kesukaan
years
apa?
ago.
Aku suka
The
milk
night before
crab.
the ceremony.
You mean all of that
Milk
really
crab.
happened?
Aku suka.
We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
Ayo,
But
Sion
how
cuma
is
jadi
that even
pelarian
possible?
Alpen. Gak
Unless-
gitu.
Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dan and astral energy rushing over us.
I
Iya
felt it too.
juga.
And not for the first time either.
Iya,
It
kayak
was
di
the
The
same
Wedge ya.
sensation as back inside the
Berarti.
wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being
Suka mie ayam
siphoned and
nggak?
sent
Mie
up
ayam
here to
suka.
Lenegis.
Indomie
know.
itu enak.
Perhaps we're close
Itu
to
mah
the
bukan
spot
mie
where all
ayam
that
ya.
energy was stored.
So
Oh,
you think
tapi
it might
kalau
have been the energy itself
ditanya
that was
lebih suka
responsible for that
bihun,
vision we
kue
just saw?
tiao, atau
But how?
mie,
And
aku
why?
lebih milih bihun.
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Mie
Sure.
kalau bihun
okay?
kalau direbus, kalau
Yeah.
di
It was all just a little
bihun kalau
sudden.
direbus
That's all.
sama kalau
So that was
di
my
apa yang
ancestor, huh?
kayak pakai itu loh kayak
It was
mie
like
ayam
looking
gitu
into
kan
a
yang pakai
mirror.
kecap pakai
Yeah, there certainly is a
ayam
resemblance.
kecap gitu.
What
Tapi
about
kalau
you?
digoreng aku lebih
How are
seneng
you
kue
holding
tiao.
up?
Me?
Even
Kalau
putting
janjinya
aside the
dia nggak pernah
question of
terwujud
where that
gimana,
vision
Bu?
came from, it's likely we'll
Janji
see
apa?
more of those.
Bisa main alat musik, Kak. Aku
Reliving
dulu
painful
pernah main
episodes from
biola.
your past.
Tapi
Do
ya
you think you
gitulah,
can handle
aku
it?
nggak jago-jago.
I
Aku
can't
nggak
just
bagus-bagus
pretend
amat
like the
mainnya.
past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that
Di dekat
ceremony
rumah
really
gue ada
was,
mie ayam enak
might
banget
also
sampai
lead to
pernah
answers
didatengin
about
Kak
your
Carlos.
thorns.
Alvin,
Wow.
That's not all.
Daerah
This whole time we've been fighting
kalau
to
nggak
free
Pluit
Dana
Jakarta
from the
Barat
Renans.
biasanya.
But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can.
Atau di
It's
daerah lain
just
ya.
another reason I can't afford to
Yang
shield
aku
my
pernah lihat
eyes
yang
from the
itu sih
truth.
soalnya.
whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Let's go.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Waduh, kok ada save? Ada tempat nge-heal. Heal dulu lah. Kalau gitu. Heal. Skill panel dulu. Kita. Banyak banget ini belum kebuka. Kita save dulu. Tuh udah enggak ada 30 jam aku main ini. Aku pikir udah 37 mah udah mau tamat deh. Kalau dipikir-pikir. Soalnya YouTube ada konten kerjaan lain, enggak. Sekali-sekali bikin konten mukbang lah, mukbang mie 1 kilo. Gak kuat aku kalau makan banyak-banyak. Aku bukan orang yang kuat makan banyak soalnya. Hah? Loh, itu temannya Dohalim?
How
Si
did you get in
Varia?
here? Wait, something about her isn't right.
Kerjaan anak orang.
What's wrong with her?
Itu kayak
She doesn't
kerjaan
even
lu
seem
deh,
to
Bill.
know where she is.
Bukan kerjaan gue.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
What? What the hell? Dark Master Core? What the fuck? Anjir lah, apa lagi ini?
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power
We
when...
can talk later. Here it comes.
Apa lagi ini? Bulat mata ya. Suka main game dari beberapa game pertama yang dimainin game apa? Anjing, parah banget. Apa itu?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the super, then we get some answers.
Go for the weak point,
Yours to be let free.
Healing circle. Here. I'll fix you up.
Here I come. Take this.
Anjir, cepet banget nih.
Hear my call.
Hear it now. Take this. Try this. I'll finish you here and now. Keep charging us.
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it. I'll leave it to you. Severing wind. All in. Here and now. Try this. You're mine. Severing wind. This one.
Anjir, sakit. Anjir, mati. Oh shit, HP gua.
Commander of Heaven.
Oh, tahu tentang game yang viral. Apa tuh? Udah tak ada. Enggak, aku dari SD. Dari SD, enggak sih, enggak dari SD, kayaknya dari bocah. Oh shit. Lau. Mati si Lau.
I have no limits. Severing wind.
It's weakened.
This ends now. We've got him on the run. Right. Still anyone's fight. I'll smash you.
Oh, sampai lupa dong mau pakai ini.
To do it.
Anjir. Woi. Anjir, Nintendo enggak lah, enggak. Nintendo sih ya. Aku dulu main DS. Aku dulu main dari zaman PS1 sebenarnya. Tapi PS1 aku game pertama dulu Bloody Roar 2. Game pertamaku dulu Bloody Roar 2 di PS1. Itu waktu aku SD kelas 2 kayaknya.
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more.
Dari tadi, kek. Aduh. Dari tadi, kek.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do
Aku main
is heal her
DS dulu.
physically.
Aku DS
We're not even
tuh
supposed to be in here.
game favoritku
Maybe it'd be
dulu.
better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer.
Apa The World Ends With
Don't you
You
think?
tuh, yang pertama.
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
you? Avakir,
Lah.
what are you doing here?
Dia dong.
I was curious
temennya.
what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
Main
you
bisi-basi.
believe
Oh
me?
iya, bisi-basi itu
What makes
seru
you
loh.
so sure I wasn't lying?
Janganlah ngerusak
I like to
stick
think I
itu
know you a
game.
little better than that, Halim. Give me some credit.
Sayang sih apa Konami
Faria.
nggak ini ya, nggak
Leave her with
bikin
me.
bisi-basi
I know
online
better than
gitu
to ask
yang
what
bisa
you're up
dimainin
to.
rame-rame sama
But
temen
whatever
kan
it is,
lucu ya.
I hope it all works out.
Sambil main itu sambil
Thank you.
streaming. Goblok-goblokan gitu kan sama temen.
He
Saking
seems
studi-
like a good friend.
Kudu
He hasn't changed.
spend duit buat
He
beli
never
stick.
was one to
Iya.
stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
Kenapa lu nyalain
You
diri
don't
lu
seriously
lagi sih?
blame yourself
Aduh.
for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones if it wasn't for me.
Bukan salah lu
You're
anjir.
wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown
Berarti gak
contest,
ngerasain
he'd
NES
still be
atau
alive.
Famicom?
That
Enggak.
and the whole damn
Aku nggak
hierarchy that
ngerasain
makes
dua
it
konsol itu.
possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats
Itu
people
mah namanya
as
pay to win
expendable.
apa pay to play?
Ridding
Pay
society
to
of this
play
blood
lah
is
kalau
really
itu.
the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim.
Dulu ingat main
I know it
apa
hurts
namanya
to
main
hear,
bisi-basi
but those
sampai
people are
ngomel-ngomel.
dead.
Bisi-basi
No
remaster
amount of
hadir
soul searching
penjualan
or trying
stick
to make
stong.
amends is going
Iya,
to change that.
sumpah.
Forgiveness,
Gua
acceptance,
berani bilang
those
Konami
ships have
goblok
sailed.
banget gak
So I just
gak
forget the
ngeluarin
harm I
bisi-basi remaster
No,
gitu.
the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart
Bisi-basi
always.
remaster di Switch
And
Week
then you go
bubar.
on living.
Bubar sih itu, bubar beneran
Not for
anjir.
those already passed.
Mana
But for those still
kontrolernya Switch
For those still
mahal,
alive,
ya kan?
Kisara's right.
Di PT
So
Switch
long as
mahal
we've still
anjir.
got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the
Udah
pain
mahal
of your
bakal cepet
conscience go
rusak.
away.
Iya.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday.
Iya, dia
Not
harus
only
move
that,
on.
You need to live
Harus
for
lihat
yourself.
apa yang di
and for
depannya
the
dia
change that you
sekarang.
still
Jangan
can be.
ingat-ingat yang udah dulu
I shall try.
kejadian gitu loh.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion,
Huh?
thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Varia without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shit.
Kadang mana sih?
Yax,
Oh, kadang sama.
we're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Kenapa
What is it,
sih, Ren?
Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's that voice.
that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Oh, oh, itu seremoninya kah?
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
What the hell? What just happened? Oh, oh, yang bikin Alvin bersak tuh gara-gara ini. Kalau game PS2 yang disuka apa? Gamenya game RPG. Game PS2 yang aku dulu sering mainin Tekken 5. Itu zaman-zaman aku lagi
That was
seneng-senengnya
the
main
spirit
Tekken itu.
channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... Like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me.
Oh,
A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
iya. PS2 aku suka
That is the
sama
case.
Squid.
We've just found the missing
Bodoh.
link between your thorns and what
Lah,
happened here 3
game-game yang
centuries ago.
begitu.
No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Iya
Correct.
juga.
Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, Maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan Astral Energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Iya. Masalahnya kita nggak tahu apa-apa ini.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
Harus ada, kayaknya ada sesuatu.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way. Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that.
Kita ngumpul.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The
Siapa
same
lagi?
person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least.
Okay,
Someone here
Edwin,
in
thank
Lenegis
you.
is
Terima kasih
watching
udah
us.
mampir. Makasih juga udah
Someone who
donasi
means us
tadi.
harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
That vision we saw, it was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Nih, sumpah udah mulai pusing nih. Sudah mulai pusing, Kakak. Aduh. Loh, ini.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right?
Iya,
Sure.
ini
We can check it
Ini
out.
yang di pasnya dia. Yang di masa lalu dia, yang di mana? Yang kita lihat di waktu pertama kali topengnya
This
kebuka semua
looks
itu.
like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty
Kembali ya
deserted.
lo, Dani.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
Ya ini tempat sebenarnya apa anjir? Lenegis kan?
The people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone.
Yang
is the
dia
stuff of
awalnya tahu
dreams.
dia orang lama.
Yet here I
Heeh.
am, standing within its
Yang
hallowed halls.
pas topengnya
It's off
kebuka
limits
semua,
even for
yang waktu
lords, then?
dipecahin sama
Talk
Voran.
about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How did they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, sovereigns and forbidden zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was.
Iya, mereka
But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true
mereka
purpose,
taunya ya
and why it was
itu
kept
yang
hidden behind the scenes for so long.
mereka taunya itu kan alasannya kayak ya ini dibuat untuk sovereign, tapi kayak apa gitu.
I think I can make this work.
Wow. Gila, nggak bisa baca cuy. Bahasa apa
Well?
itu?
Can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years.
Gila, udah
Let's see.
ratusan tahun dong.
A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup.
Huh?
The creation of a governing central figure taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Oh.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden.
Oh, iya juga.
Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title Test Subjects, Sovereign.
Oh.
It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number
Oh,
1273.
1273.
Ethnicity, NA. Unique Adjustment Index, Generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
Oh, dia. Bener berarti.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Bener berarti emang yang udah dilihat sama dia gitu loh.
Alvin.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Nah ini nih.
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity NA.
Gila udah
Unique adjustment
jauh
index
banget
generation
dari
NA.
dia.
Given name Volron.
Bener cuma dia berdua dong.
But that means
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
Bentar.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
Gila selama 3 abad cuma mereka berdua yang berhasil.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and
Bentar.
Lenegis combined. When a
Dia
new
ngomong
sovereign is
Volran
decided,
kan?
the
Tadi
outgoing
kan
monarch shall relinquish
diomongin
their post and live out the rest of their
apa
days on Rena.
pokoknya
So we were told.
di
But according to these
re-engineer
records,
segala
there
macem
have only ever been 2
dan
sovereigns,
itu Danan kan.
neither of whom
Kok
had anything to do with the crown
bukannya
contest.
Volran Bright Eyes ya?
It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been
Pusing, coy.
devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the sovereign, then who was it?
Apa berarti di atas sovereign
Crown
masih ada
contests
orang
have been held
lagi?
this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign.
Karena
Me.
jadian kelinci
Meaning
percobaan.
that for the
Iya
past
sih,
300
cuman
years, someone out there has to have been maintaining
apa
that lie.
apa dia
The
Renan
same person I'm
atau
willing to bet is behind
maksudnya
all
dia
this.
jadi apa berarti?
The Red Woman?
Mungkin
it's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
iya di Rena.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
Terus
What
kan
about the
kontes
data
tetap
records?
jadiin orang
Is
sovereign
there
buat
no
apa
other
kalau bisa dari
information that could
percobaan?
help us?
Iya.
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
Oke, kita sambil baca-baca ya.
So this is where Alfin became the sovereign, and Volron as well.
Sovereign acts as Lenegis central control device for the spirits channeling ceremony. Level 2 authority ID crash. A Danan subject serves as the base of its creation. Tuh, a Danan. Tapi Volran bukannya matanya nyala ya? Dan dia bisa pakai artes. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world condition. Ada beberapa hal yang nggak bisa di ini. Terus sebagian besar subjeknya mati pas adjustment atau pas stabilitasnya nggak itu. Jadi kayak masih nggak, kalaupun stabil nggak berarti berhasil untuk semua buat yang survive, buat yang bertahan hidup. Oh, itu alasannya kenapa dia ditahan di sini. Internet. Oh, okay. Unit 2 adjustment are a success. Subsequent put on hold. Oh, Maiden itu sebagai supportnya dari di Spirit Channeling. Oke. Renan. Oh, Maiden itu Renan. Providing the sovereign with the supplemental. Oh. Oh, Dark Astral Energy itu diambil dari yang jadi Maiden. Partly responsible for astral energy conversion, maintaining survivability over the sovereign's own power. Oh, fungsinya sebagai yang ngejaga stabilitas energinya si sovereign. Sama untuk ngekonversi astral energy. Because of this trial activation also. Oh, makanya sovereign nggak boleh, pokoknya spirit channeling itu nggak boleh dilakukan kalau maidennya nggak ada. Neither the sovereign nor the maiden inform. Mental instability in the maiden has been deemed the cause of perseverance rampancy. Oh, ini yang kejadiannya Alphen ya kayaknya. Yang maidennya nggak ini. Maidennya gagal ngestabilin itunya powernya dia. The current subjects will have its maiden registration revoked and return to its original household.
The significance of this location would suggest.
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Master Core. Master Core instrument of power containing astral energy belongs to one of the 6 elements. 6. 5 of these, those with earth, water, fire, wind, and light. Oh, ini Master Core yang di Dahnan. Master Core yang di Dahnan ini. Are loaned to Renan Lords at the time of the crown contest. Oke. Oh, Dark Master Core disimpan di Forbidden Zone. Sampai Renas Almanya jadi. Bukan gagal pas dia dipasangin helm, bukan. Pas spirit channelingnya, pas mereka seremoni gagalnya. So energy is stored in the dormant state. Oh, ini kontesnya buat ini. Oh, biar bisa bikin Renas Alma. Ternyata. Dan Renas Alma tuh cuma dibikin, berarti konsistnya dari 6 sebenarnya. Due to successful regeneration of the Renas Alma, Master Core will cease to be deployed and the contest will be permanently halted. Spirit Core. Tenants must be employed. Oh alah. Oh my god. Fuck. Mereka tuh pekerjain danan biar apa dengan pakai apa namanya yang di embed di tangannya Dahnan itu yang bulat itu Biar energinya keserap ke Spirit Core-nya dikumpulin untuk Master Core untuk Crown Contest. Fuck, dude. Anjir sih. Host bodies without inducing death for maximum energy. Wah anjing. Wah anjing sih. Waduh. Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified member of the tenant populace as chosen to act as lords. During their tenure, granted level 3 authority as well as one of 5 elemental realms to administer. Okay. I decrease the... Oh, it should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individual capable of drawing out Master Core's powers. Berarti nggak cuma lord doang yang bisa istilahnya pakai Master Core. Otak gua mau meledak anjing. Oh, ini reportnya Volran ini. Given name Volran, unique adjustment index ethnicity. High latent, possess high latent potential, exhibit significant mental instability. Along with a strong distaste for the following orders. Oh, I see. Oh, walaupun sukses, tapi dianggapnya dia gagal sebenarnya. Karena apa resikonya terlalu tinggi. Evaluation plan will be dispatched to Dana under the guise of serving as a lord. Oh, oke. Menarik. Soal Volran. Jadi itu sebenarnya dia dianggap gagal karena dia risk ininya terlalu gede gitu loh. Wah anjir, ini banyak sih yang dibaca. Lenegis, oke. Energy converter. Activation control of astral energy conversion. Fungsinya sebagai pengkonversi astral energi. Sovereign Maiden and Rena's Alma within the central core of Lenegis. Oke. Wah sumpah otakku mau meledak anjing. Waduh. The outer layer is expected to cause damage. Oh, oke. Cuma berlanjut kalau di final stage spirit channeling ceremony. Tunggu dulu. Kalau gitu, bentar, berarti dibilang kayak gitu, berarti ada Maiden dong di sini. Karena dia bilang kalau Lenegisnya udah berubah struktur, secara nggak langsung berarti ada Sovereign, ada Maiden, ada Rena's Alma di core-nya Lenegis. Terus Sovereign-nya siapa berarti? Sovereign sama Maiden-nya siapa dong? Wah anjing, sakit pala gua. Kalau Rena's Alma oke lah, mungkin bisa dibawa sama yang cewek baju merah itu ke sini. Tapi Sovereign-nya ya kita nggak tahu sih Volran selamat atau enggak kan. Tapi Maiden-nya juga gimana gitu. massive spirit vessel placed on Dana for the spirit channeling ceremony. Oh, ini the witch ya, kayaknya. Oh iya, ini the witch ini. Oh. Sumpah otak gua mau meledak anjing, banyak banget ininya. Bentar, sedative mask. A device covering the wearer's whole face that restrict their mental activity. All application are also recognized depending. Ini tentang topengnya si ini kah? Topengnya Alpen kah berarti? Sedative mask ini? The channel device will no longer be manufactured. Iya kayaknya ya. As the realm's current world and without use of any special powers, drugs, or special device. Oh, dia bisa manipulasi pikiran orang si ini. Fear and subsequent. Oh. Anjing otak gua. Di brainwash tuh ternyata emang powernya si ini. Wah, otak gua mau meledak si anjing nih. Infonya banyak banget bangsat. Otak gua mau meledak anjing. This area will now be shut down as the project proceeds to the final phase. Otak gua mau meledak anjing. Banyak banget infonya, kacau. Anjing bener-bener.
Only 2 sovereigns in over
Fucking
300
slow,
years.
otak gua mau
So
meledak.
why has the
Aduh.
experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
Otak gua mau meledak anjing, banyak banget
I'm just a little shaken, that's all.
infonya.
I knew what I was already,
Asem.
so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we,
Anjir,
everyone?
too much bangsat.
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Sumpah otak gua mau meledak anjing, too much information. Iya, ini tempat yang itu kan. Ini tempatnya Alphen kan? Ya, tempatnya Alphen yang di memorinya dia ini. Wah, sumpah otak gue mau meledak anjir. Too much. Otak gue gak kuat anjir. Hah? Apalagi nih? Anjir, otak gue gak kuat, ya Allah. Loh, ini Alphen. Oh. Okay.
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your
Oh
mind
iya,
from
ini
tearing
yang
itself
tadi
apart
kita
any
baca
further.
ini.
Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
Emang dia ternyata yang bikin kita ini.
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try.
Oh,
I hope
itu
it's enough.
alasan kenapa dia kehilangan ingatan dan dia nggak bisa ngerasain sakit berarti.
Please.
Karena
Live for me,
hibernation sama mesnya ini. Walah.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Sumpah gue dah, otak gue mau meledak anjir.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart.
Iya.
She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted...
Aduh. Ternyata
you to
begitu.
survive. And you did.
Kata apa lagi nih? Nggak ada itu kan? Wah, ada item. Sumpah, otak gue mau meledak anjir. Otak gue mau meledak, sumpah. Oh, ini chamber ceremoninya ya?
We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renaissance was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renaissance isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Huh? What the hell?
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Yeah, as a
Linked
guide.
to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me.
Oh, dia yang ngambil
But it was too late.
ininya.
Lenegis had already been brought to its knees.
Dia yang ngambil power yang itu yang bikin Alphen berserk
All because
istilahnya.
of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how.
Pamit dulu, oke Richie.
Especially
Thank
since
you
that
udah mampir,
power
terima
was
kasih
astral
banyak.
energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That at least would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost. And Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear.
Oh, alah.
Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants as well.
Ah, itu alasan kenapa Sion punya thorns.
Please, forgive
Oh,
me.
alah,
I never meant to burden
astaga.
the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just... Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danon voice speaking through her?
Wow. Wow.
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the maiden's outfit?
That's right.
Wow.
These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now
Ganti
because...
kostum, iya.
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Nambah wangi-wangi. Cakep kan? Sion.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign.
Iya, kita cuma butuh Renas Almanya doang.
Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We
Iya,
can
dia
rid you
bisa
of your
selamat
curse
dia.
and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way.
Iya.
Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renin lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
Miracle gak tuh dibilang.
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The
Sebenarnya
reason you lost your
dua-duanya sih yang
memories.
kayak
Is the reason for your
ininya.
curse.
The thorns.
Iya.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes.
Mantap.
Until our future is finally in our hands.
Wis, sudah kebuka lagi. Lotus Maiden. Bisa revitalize. Waduh, kurang SP 600. Wes, dapat ini baru dong.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't
Silau
focus on
tuh omongnya
differences,
ini
least of all
banget
those
sih.
between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The one separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
Ini apa? Masih ada tempat tele lagi? Tempat apa ini? Tempat apa lagi ini?
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
Keren.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
Apalagi nih? What the hell? Kenapa ada tempat save? Oh shit, okay.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place... it reminds me more of being back inside the wedge.
Except the Danon astral energy feels even stronger here.
In a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin sovereign.
Aduh, ada tempat.
Maybe
Ini
he
lagi
just has
tempat
strange
kill.
tastes?
Nggak gitu
This
sih.
place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Or perhaps even further back.
Berarti ada
Still,
sesuatu.
this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken
Ada
of in artistic
sesuatu
circles.
kalau ada tempat
So what is it
kill.
then?
Hold up, decadence? Artistic circles?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch,
Nggak gitu sih.
eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate you further.
Udah.
That depends.
Sudah.
Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
The
In that case,
soul.
I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
My soul.
Now all we need is
starts
something to
to
fill up the
rumble.
void inside your head.
Shut up!
Ada tempat heal, ya kan? Jadi kita siap-siap saja, guys. Karena perasaan saya tidak enak. My stomach rumble. Andaing ya kalau nggak salah. Tempat apa ini?
Volron!
Hah?
He really
Anjir
was
dia dong. Oh!
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait though, something doesn't seem right here.
place. Oh, once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in the machine.
Hey look, over there.
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Kok khas Maiden-nya?
Can it be
Oh!
that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the
Oh
ceremony
iya,
must have been to
pantas.
drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
Oh, pantas
But
saja.
for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alvin, look!
The Red
Wah,
Woman!
anjir itu cewek. Bangsat
So we
kaget.
finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
Wah, anjir banyak.
They all have the same face? How is that even possible?
Who the fuck is...
What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
What the fuck? Wah,
They're
tiga
not
lagi
feeling
anjing.
particularly confident.
It's no use, Alvin. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
What is that?
Burn! Dragon Swarm!
Let the marksman handle it.
Armor won't save you!
I never miss.
Anjir, apaan sih woy, anjir. Anjir. Anjing kena dong, bangsat. Telat menghindar lah.
Take this!
You're mine! I'm only getting
Anjir itu.
Here's a healing arm!
Megasonic drop! I'm not done!
Hear my call!
Armor one safe! I'm just getting started! I'm not done! Dragon form!
Anjir itu cakram, gak bisa diem bangsat. Anjing dia ngilang dong.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous flow! I'm on it! Run you through! Dragon form! Plus! All forms here and now! Dragon form! Dragon shout! Explosive ring! Now we're in the group!
Where are you going?
Armor won't save you! Far enough! Take this! Dragon down!
By the power of water!
Tectonic force! Spirit down!
Evil fly!
Here I come! Dragon form!
Win! Healing art!
First strike! Power form! Dragon form!
Will this help?
Try harder!
I'll be saving
My
this
turn!
one!
That freaking does it!
Healing
They're gonna tear you apart! Here I come! Mirage! Dragon form! Burn! Win! Can't get out of this!
Annihilation! Now by the power
Anjir.
My turn!
Will this help?
Dragon form! Severing wing! It's Dragon form!
I never miss!
Soaring look up!
Anjir, buset dah buneng.
Far enough! Rising light! Rising falcon! You picked the wrong fight! Dragon form! Prepare to be seen! Rising light! Look sharp!
Anjing.
Lightning
Iya, ngeri banget itu cakram. Sebel. Bangsat cakramnya sih. Gak bisa diem loh.
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Fuck.
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
Holy fuck.
What? It's self-destructed?
Alvin!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Jangan bilang dia bangun.
Who said you could touch that?
Udah kuduga.
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much. So you know this place?
Naturally, it was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped
Iya.
just like Alphen? But then he became a...
Dia tuh Danan aslinya.
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right?
Harusnya gitu ya.
Volron.
So he posed as a Renan and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Danan are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
What the fuck?
Don't do it!
Hilang dong dia.
Serenus Alva!
It's too late. You can't stay here.
We need to go. Alphen!
Alah. Sion. Cepetan Sion, anjing. Sion, cepetan. Ya Allah, sempet-sempet teh. Ya Tuhan. Ya Tuhan, sempet gitu ya. Sempet ya Tuhan. Oh my god. Ya Allah, pakai ambil ancang-ancang gak tuh? Hebat. Ya bengong loncat, woi. Makanya sempet-sempet deh anjing. Kesel gua.
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Lompatnya
Are you two
jauh.
okay?
Iya.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Is Volron... Have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers and Faria in a trance?
Iya, bisa jadi.
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renasalma.
Dibawa
Damn
kabur
it,
lagi
that's the
Rena
second
Salmanya.
time now.
Aduh.
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now, those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Kita sekarang ngejar
Volron
mereka
mentioned a
keren.
master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renasalma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Iya sih.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Danans.
Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
Aduh.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human at all.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danan. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day.
Iya betul.
How about you, Shion? Dohalim? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena and Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Both sound
Iya, kayak ada
plausible to my
sesuatu.
ears. They took off with the Renasalma too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
Wah, jadi kayaknya live stream hari ini sampai sini aja dulu, guys. Terima kasih yang udah nonton, udah like, udah share, sudah subscribe, sudah komen-komen dari tadi. Terima kasih banyak semuanya. Makasih juga tadi Edwin sama Rayalka yang udah donasi. Terima kasih banyak. Gua udah nggak mampu lanjut sih. Otak gua udah mau meledak anjir. Gua sudah cukup untuk hari ini. Ya pokoknya selamat istirahat semuanya, selamat beraktivitas juga mungkin yang masih ada aktivitas, jaga kesehatan selalu. Nanti malam mungkin kalau pada main Pokemon Unite mungkin gue streaming lagi Pokemon Unite, tapi kita lihat aja nanti. Gue Reinscape, kita ketemu lagi di live stream berikutnya ya guys. Terima kasih banyak untuk hari ini, bye bye, dadah. Semoga kalian diberkati Tuhan selalu, bye.